Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the Eastern Border. Sorry that I sound weird again. I just have caught a little bit of COVID this time, which means no Christmas for me. At the same time, well, no Christmas for anyone who's trying to focus on this war anyways. Right now I'm reading a lot of newspapers and media just wankering about how Ukraine's gone all horrible and how there are conflicts everywhere and how everything's lost for Ukraine. Well, let me remind you the fact that it's all about the matter of expectations, really. In the first 72 hours of the war, which I remember very clearly, no one really believed, well, except me and a few other people, that Ukraine will even withstand, right? Everyone knew that on paper Russia was a much larger military with much larger resources and everything, and that the very fact that Battle for Kiev was won and that Russia was forced to retreat, that was major victory. But after that, we picked up this whole idea, and by we I mean Western media, the fact that, if they're so bad and Western aid is incoming, then surely in counterattack, Ukrainian army will totally win everyone. And they would have if not for the very simple thing that I've been mentioning all this time. Sorry again, my nose is just done. The fact that everything the West had promised Ukraine had arrived either too late or in too few numbers or not ready for battle or just not in the way it was promised. It's all some sort of a weird situation going on there, where there's a bunch of sanctions on Russia, but very few of them are enforced. Bunch of weapons are promised to be delivered, but then turns out they can't be. And I'll throw this one, because I know I have a lot of you libertarians listening to me, but dear libertarians, this is the time where, being free market really shows that free market chooses to support evil for pure profits sometimes, and that really doesn't work that well now, does it? At the same time, and I might be wrong about this, because again, I do not understand anything about United States politics. However, as it is reported to me, seems that the Republican Party is now trying to bargain something out of Mr. Biden, using aid to Ukraine as a some sort of a bargaining chip. I'm not sure how this is going, but this is reported to me by, some sort of biased sources, but I hope that this is not the case, because otherwise that would be extremely, evil. I know that Mr. Orban in Hungary is doing that definitely, because, he basically upended the functions of the Supreme Court in Hungary and got sanctioned by the EU, and now he wants to bargain those sanctions versus aid to Ukraine. But that's a whole different issue now, isn't it? Whatever is happening is just that I can't stand for any bargains with Ukraine in all this situation, because I know those people and those are very personal lives that concern me and everything. The problem here is that I'd rather believe everyone would understand that there is no dealing with Putin. There is no making more negotiations, making something, making something that will appease Putin. Nothing will appease Putin. I don't even know what people are thinking about, because everyone already has seen for the past 2 years, almost 3 years or something. Everyone's seen for the past so many days. My COVID brain is already making me basically glitch out of the matrix or something. But the fact that Putin will just not give up. He will not give up, and he will not be dealt with. Did you even listen to my last episode about what he's promoting as Russian New World? How can you even hope to bargain with this man? Why would you want him to stay in power? Why? I don't get it. What I see is so many interests and so many military industrial complex people making so much money out of this. That is insane. And now he's making more threats, by the way. Putin said, by the way, that Russia, quote unquote, didn't have any problems with Finland until the country was dragged into NATO. Quote, what, did we have some kind of disputes with Finland? All disputes, including territorial ones from the mid-20th century, have long been resolved. There were no problems. Now there will be, because we will now be establishing the Leningrad military district and concentrating certain military units there. Why would they need to do that? It's just nonsense. Well, I can respond to that because Mr. Putin tends to forget the reasons why he gets into his own wars. I think Mr. Kissinger would have also had something to say on this matter, but thankfully he's now dead because he outlived his usefulness by a lot of time. Because I don't even know. Maybe if he's like 90 plus something and manages to spew out just nonsensical phrases that are now being quoted by people who don't even understand what he's talking about. Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't expect him, the person that wrote the whole book of diplomacy, to just be so full-on appeasement in this case. I don't get it. Mr. Kissinger, in this case, joins Zhirinovsky in my book, and they get the same level of insanity by the end of the war, to be honest. But why would Putin and like Finland have something to deal with? Oh well, the fact that they, not like Russia didn't have anything to deal with Georgia or anyone else for that matter. I don't know. I'm just tired of this. And I'll do a full year-end review, and I might sound jaded because again, I just got COVID, and I've been yelling at people and being a bit more angry than usual. But I have to do a year-end retrospect, which I will do definitely. But I'm just getting tired of the fact that everyone is still pretending to be these very polite, very analytical people who misunderstand things and wish to understand how Putin's mind works without truly comprehending how Putin's mind works. I.e., they still treat him as, just another Western leader with whom we could negotiate. And that is the dumbest part ever, because why would you? Why would you? I mean, what I don't get the most is where did these peace negotiations even come from? Peace negotiations in the sense that what would even be the peace? No side wants them. No side wants to accept them. We don't know what's going to happen. There are those people who call for like Putin just winning something in a lot of media sites, even though in 2023 the only thing Putin had won was killing Prigozhin, stopping a coup against him. There have been no victories. There have been nothing. There's only been pain and damage, and damage also to my mental health and physical as well. And me getting angry and ranting and probably, I don't know, losing some of your patrons here because I've angered you for some reason. Lost a bunch of you last month. I don't know. Some people tell me it's because of Patreon's errors. Some people tell me because I've been ill and not doing that well. Well, hey guys, please support me on Patreon. Trying my best. But it just that it really hurts me personally. When I see how at the end of this year, people are just using all this when they should be helping out. And when we have a certain way how the war could have ended early. And now, boom, we still have this thing that's going to go on for God knows how long. And then I got COVID and I was poisoned. And I'll carry on. Okay, bit about the Rand parts. Just, yeah, needed to get that one out there. The other retrospect is going to come on later on. Don't worry. Meanwhile, Russia is now stating that Russian commanders are apparently detaining soldiers in basements and demanding bribes for their release. Because about the Storm Z ones, if you complained about something, went to the Storm Z battalion, well, right now just for Christmas, they might be sent to, these pits that we talked about, and now your family should get you out of there. Which is interesting because, if you combine this with the latest with the last episode, all these people who still sell something to Russia, there is something to negotiate with. It's a country that believes that the West is the root of all evil, and whose own officers basically throw their own soldiers into pits to get ransoms from their families for Christmas so that they could get the other presents. It's just amazing. It's just insane. And how can you not rally against all this evil? Do you not see it? I mean, I'm pretty much sure that most people do see this. I'm pretty much sure that most people understand that this isn't some sort of a joke thing that's going to go pass by. I don't know. There's more writers charged with terrorism. There are more criminalizing Russophobia laws. There's more things that would be anti-ethical to any Western government happening in Russia. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, people are trying to deal with their lives, deal with how they have their own struggles. They're trying not to actively die. And every day this goes on, every day more and more people die. And again, I'm very sorry about how this is a bit ranty, but kind of hits me hard when I have to speak about how many years into this war when because of some sort of electorate issues, you can't give enough guns for Ukraine to win, and some people just think that, well, if Russia wins, it's going to be fine. Well, it's not going to be fine. It's going to be very, very awful for a very enormous amount of people, including most of the United States of America people. Well, thankfully, China is nibbling up on Russian land, and that's not going to go anywhere. But if we are to make one thing in this decade a bit easier, maybe we should finally just focus and stop discussing the matter that Putin really needs to lose. And I don't even know who even thinks these days that Putin is an honestly elected person, or that he's a good person or something, or even what's happening in Ukraine. Early days I had to prove that Azov were not Nazis. I remember making an episode on that. Then most of the Azovs were all basically shot out anyways in the Mariupol siege. So much has happened. And all the other earlier points about not getting NATO closer, well, they have happened as well. When is the point when the EU and US will understand that, yes, this is a war and it needs to be won, not negotiated with? What is there to negotiate with? Putin? You want to leave him in power? This is just slightly too much for me. And you might hear this, but I also am finally sort of burning out. I've given everything I can for this situation. gotten COVID, gotten all this death threats and everything. I need to figure out how to get some more important audiences. Hey, if someone can get me to Joe Rogan, I want to kick his ass or something. This is difficult. The end of this year is difficult in general. But it's going to get better. And I'll get better. And for one, who are we fighting against? People who believe that, well, oral sex was invented by democracy. In that case, I suppose, yay for democracy. And sorry for this rambling episode again. I just caught COVID and now I'm just angry about the more recent news, how everyone's been manipulating everyone. More serious stuff coming in my total year retrospect. But for now, well, I don't know. I hope that this gives you some peace of mind. Merry Christmas and all that whatnot. And I hope that the best happens to you and to those that you love. До свидания, товарищ. And as always, remember, happiness is mandatory. Even at times when you feel like the world's kind of coming crashing down your shoulders.